What's up, everybody? And today I'm going over my top 10 films of all time. Let's do this. So, as you know, I did a video a long time ago, or maybe a week ago, which I'm sorry I didn't get out sooner, this video. I've just been really busy, and so I made time today, and we're going to get this video out today. And yep, as you know, I did it my top 25 films to 11. Today I'm going to be doing my top 10 films of all time. Two of you guessed what my when I said in the last video that if you guess 6 out of 10 movies, you get a shout out, and two people did that. So I'll link their channels down in the description below. Without further ado, let's go. Coming in at 10 is going to be The Godfather 2. I love this movie. Better than the first one. Better characters than, okay. Better, in my opinion, it's better than the first one. The first one, I think, is the greatest film ever made, but this one, I think, is the second greatest film ever made. I just like it more. I prefer it more. And the scenes with Vito are some of the greatest moments or scenes in cinematic history. And the stuff with Michael is really interesting too. And what they did to my poor boy Greedo, which is one of my favorite characters in the trilogy. Yeah, it's a great movie, great writing, great direction. One Best Picture too, so that's good. And I love this movie so much. So coming in number 9 is going to be Call Me by Your Name. I love this movie so much. The relationship, or might be spoilers for this movie. I'll try to avoid. Not, I won't spoil it actually. This movie is very phenomenal. Great performances by Timothy Chalamet and forgot the other guy's name. It's gonna come to me. Whatever, I forgot his name. But great movie, has one of the greatest scripts in my opinion ever. Relationship between I think his name is Elio and some I don't know the other guy, but just the relationship is really good. One of the best relationships ever in movies. It makes me feel something. This movie, I highly recommend this movie, and yeah, go watch it. Coming number 8 is going to be Brokeback Mountain, another movie I deeply love that has one of the greatest relationships in movie history between Annis, Delmar, and Jack. Somebody, played by Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal. I love this movie so much. Great writing, great direction. Was snubbed of the Best Picture Oscar, highly snubbed. But yeah, the relationship again, one of the best relationships. It's so beautiful. This movie and the scenery is really amazing. Just it's some of the best acting performances. I think Heath Ledger it gives one of my favorite performances. And Jake Gyllenhaal gives a great performance. The only movie he's been nominated for an Oscar. I think that's absurd. He's been so good in so many other movies, and he's only been nominated for one. And I don't think this is even his best performance. I think that goes to like Nightcrawler or Prisoner or something like that. But yeah, it's absurd he hasn't got nominated for anything else. But he got nominated for this, and he didn't win, so that's sad. But yeah, great movie. Should have won Best Picture. Amazing. Coming number 7. No pun intended. No. No pun? No. Didn't mean to do this, but number 7 is 7. Um, Second favorite Fincher movie. You'll see one. Love it so dearly, so much. Great performances by Mr. Freeman, Morgan Freeman, and Brad Pitt, and great suspense movie. I highly recommend this movie. Very disturbing, and Mr. Spacey, Kevin Spacey, is really good in this movie. And there's like a twist or a reveal at the end, and it's amazing. It's a slower movie, so it's a mystery, so it's like a little bit slower, but I was entertained, or I wasn't bored the entire movie. I've seen this 4 times. Yeah, I watch a lot of movies over and over again. I think the next 6 on this list I've seen at least over 5 times. Yeah, or 4 times, and yeah, great, friggin' great movie, and I highly recommend it. Number 6 is going to be Taxi Driver. Second favorite Scorsese movie. Um, Robert De Niro gives one of the greatest performances ever by an actor. Great script. I like the character development and it's like basically a slow burn character study of this man going insane, and his redemption arc at the end makes him one of the greatest characters in movie history. And Martin Scorsese is in this movie, and that's good. Movie should have won Best Picture for sure. Can't really say anything else. The great performances by De Niro and the girl, and Jodie Foster's really good in this, and Harvey Keitel's in this. A bunch of people in this. Great movie. Highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. Coming number 5 is going to be Fight Club. Favorite Fincher movie. Love it to death. Brad Pitt and Mr. Norton, or Edward Norton in this movie. Great performances. Tyler Durden may be one of my favorite characters ever. I don't know spoilers for this movie, but I don't know whether or not to group them together as one character because they basically are one character. But that's what I will do. But I'll group Edward Norton's and Brad Pitt's character because they're like the same person. And yeah, so one of my favorite characters ever. I think this might be one of the greatest movies ever, in my opinion. You have your opinion. In my opinion, it might be one of the greatest. Script is really good. It's super rewatchable, in my opinion. And just, it's Fight Club. Maybe I shouldn't have even talked about it because I wasn't allowed to. But yeah, number 5. Number 4 is going to be Goodfellas. This is my favorite Martin Scorsese movie for sure. Endlessly rewatchable. I've seen it at least 9 times. It's such a good movie. I think Joe Pesci gives one of the greatest performances ever. I think Ray Liotta, Mr. Liotta, is phenomenal. Like, he should have been nominated for an Oscar. He is amazing in this movie. De Niro is also amazing in this movie. The direction by Scorsese. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever, in my opinion. I think it's not the best Scorsese movie, but definitely top 2. I think the best is Raging Bull, technically, but yeah, phenomenal movie. Number 3 is going to be Braveheart. Love this movie so much. The emotion I get from this movie is amazing. Mr. Gibson plays William Wallace in this movie, and he might be my favorite movie character ever. He's just such a brave and fearless person, and he is so kick-ass, and the end of this movie is heartbreaking. I cry every time. I think this movie is endlessly watchable, even if it's 3 hours long. I've seen this at least 10 times. I love it to death. It's Braveheart. Go watch this movie. Please go watch it. Coming number 2 is going to be the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I love this trilogy so much. The greatest trilogy in terms of technically, I think it's the greatest trilogy ever. I think some performances are maybe not the greatest ever, but some of my favorites, especially from Aragorn and Gandalf and Sam Gamgee. Love it to death. I've seen this trilogy. I'm not lying when I say this. I've seen this trilogy over 25 times. Endlessly review. The first time I saw it was in March, and I've seen it over 25 times. I love this to death. I can keep watching. I'll keep watching this for the rest of my life, and I love it to death. And the action in this movie, even though I'm not a big fan of action, I love the action in this movie. These movies, and the characters, some of the greatest characters ever, especially Aragorn, Sam Gamgee, and Gandalf, and the rest of the Fellowship is like amazing. Some of the consistent. I think it's the most consistent trilogy in terms of consistency. If you don't like this trilogy, I don't know what's wrong. I'm sorry, but if you don't, I don't know how, or at least if you don't appreciate this trilogy for how great it is, then yeah, something's wrong. But I love this trilogy. I think everybody knows I love this trilogy, and you expect it to be number 1, but number 1 is my favorite movie of all time, and I think it will be for a while, and that is American Beauty. Love this movie so much. Kevin Spacey is amazing in this movie. So is everybody else. Annette Bening, Thora Birch, Wes Bentley, everybody, the bunch of not unknown actors, but like actors you probably haven't heard of, except Kevin Spacey. But yeah, love this movie to death. Endlessly rewatchable for me, at least. I've seen it at least 10 times. I'll probably watch it tonight, maybe, after making this video, maybe. But I love it to death. I think this will be my favorite movie for a long time. And that was my top 10 movies of all time. What is your list? Put them in the comments below. And thank you, everybody, for watching, and stay positive.